So this is the newbie coaching calls. My name is Amir Khan. I host these calls. There are three different formats on some weekly calls, which are quite a bit of those where we don't have a guest or we don't have anything specific planned. And what I simply do is just take questions. It is a newbie call, so I am asking you to ask questions that are for newbies. If you're thinking about something more advanced and I may be able to answer, but that's not the purpose of these calls. That would
Don't
be
you say it anyway? You can buy over the
calls
card. You don't have a problem.
and can you please keep your mics muted? Um, so that's what the thing is, and so the
Two
format is
softener. You can just buy them down there on the right. Yeah, halfway down on the right. There's some here. Don't you say it 100 milligram? Yeah.
can you please keep your mics muted? Where are my controls? Okay, I know why I cannot do it. Yeah, I think I don't have the host controls, so I'm gonna mute everyone. Okay, so let me go back now and share. Here we go. All right, so like I was saying that the one of the format is where we just do question and answer session, which what we're going to do today. Some weeks I have a guest. The guest could be somebody who is relatively new, or it could be somebody who has a lot of experience. So we've had variety of students in our community who are our guests. So if you look at some of the older recordings, you can find them. And then some weeks I've done some topics where I choose a topic and then I do a deep dive on that. It does take a lot of time and effort. I have been extremely busy with buying newer properties for my portfolio, so I just haven't had time. But anyway, this is just for reference. Again, if you're new, where the recordings are of these calls are at this URL, and my best friend Major will put the link in the chat for you. So it's not in school. Again, the recordings of past newbie calls are not in school, they're at this URL. And then there is a new program that I started also. It's called a newbie learning pod. And the purpose of that is it's like accountability group. If you've been in the program for a couple of months, let's say, and you have finished all the training, that's one of the requirements. And you do have funds yourself to fund one slow flip by yourself. And you've tried and you have not had any success. So those are the requirements, okay? Then you can apply for this and join this pod. It is very helpful. We've already had one, two, I think it's the third cycle we are through. And so there's only 5 students. And then we have somebody from our community who leads the pod. So the idea is to help you buy your first slow flip. Okay, maybe you're stuck with research, maybe you're stuck with something, right? So that is the purpose of this pod. And where can you find details? Again, Major will put the link in the chat for you, so you can go in there, look at the details, understand. Yep, thank you, and look at the details and the application format. Everything is in that link. It's actually a posting in school, and it'll give you all the details. All right, and then this is really, really cool for people who are new and they're still kind of in the phase where they're trying to look at 100 homes in a market, and 100 homes does take time, and it's frustrating sometimes. So Joshua King is a member in our community. He came up with this system where he can very quickly scan 100 homes. So he was a guest and he had actually posted a video. So I invited him to be on the call. He was a guest. And so I asked him, hey, can you write a PDF with instructions on how to do this and a video? So he's done that. So if you scan this QR code, you can get that information for free. Again, if you are in that phase where you're looking at 100 homes, in his method, you can do this rather quickly. And he claims you can do it in about an hour or so. So I don't think you need to be that tech savvy. It's just all the sources are free. You can do it yourself. Okay. So that's that. And then past recording, if you're interested in learning specific, this video right here is going to be the probably the most beneficial for you. So I tell every newbie who's at least finished the training, if you have finished the training, this video will be the most helpful for you, because what I've done in this video is to show you what the entire slow flip process is sequentially, which I suggest you do sequentially. So what will happen is after your training, you get a lot of information and then you'll get confused on what should I be doing first, what should I be doing second, and then you'll get stuck. So this will just kind of help you with that. So this video is probably the most helpful. And then there are a whole bunch of other videos. So like I said, go to that link and go through we have over a year worth of recording. So there's a lot. Okay. And then another program I started. It's where I train people in our community who are interested in become private money lenders for us. So which is great because people already know about slow flip system, right? And then uh, they want to become certified private money lender. That's the term we use. So I do the training. I Once they finish, they actually receive a certification. That means they can officially post loans in our community. There's a whole process for it. All right. So I've done two training already. The first one, and now we graduated four new private money lenders. And so on that, I have some news for you. I don't know if you were on the call. I think Major, you weren't on the call. I didn't see you, right? You weren't? Okay. Anyway, so I did make an announcement there that one of the new private money lender who was in my latest training has actually decided to do 5 loans all at once. And he's going to be posting tomorrow. What that means is if you're looking for a loan, there are requirements. Every private money lender has their own minimum criteria. And I have to let you know as early as now, one of the criteria is that you should have bought and filled your first slow flip. So if you're a completely newbie, this is not for you. Okay, and there's an obvious reason for it. If you haven't even done anything and you don't have funds, you gotta s- spread out, go out, figure out how you're gonna do your first deal. Once you do that, then things will become easy. And it's the same thing with people looking at you and figuring out, what's your skin in the game. All right, so he will be listing it tomorrow. If you go to school, there is a tab that says Certified Private Money Lender. That's where the posting would be, and he's going to be posting tomorrow. So since he's offering 5 loans, which means that you should definitely apply. If you do meet the criteria, you should definitely apply because he does need to disperse his funds. That's why he's doing it. Okay. All right. So that's that. And I think that's all the announcements I have. So, like I said, today, all we're doing is we're doing question answers. So, if you have questions, just raise your hand and I'll call on you. That's all we do. Oh, yeah. Before we do that, so if you're brand new, first time on the call and you're a newbie, I would like to say hi to you. So, go ahead and unmute yourself and let's chat a little bit. No one? Major? You're not. Okay. Well, hold on. Hold on. I cheated there. I should have. Hold on, hold on. Okay, now you can unmute yourself. Is anybody new who like who would like to introduce? Yes, you should be Alicia, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Okay. Can you hear
There
me?
you. Yes, I can. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good, good. Tell us about yourself. Where are you based? When did you join?
I just joined a few days ago. My husband and I joined. He should be here shortly. Our daughter had her first volleyball meet, so Taco Bell, all of that. So figured one of us should be here at least. We live in Wisconsin, in Fort Atkinson, and we are pretty darn new to real estate. We've flipped 2 houses. Started in the winter season of last year. And earlier this month, we just closed our second one. So that's great. We like that. It's fun, it's rewarding, but it's a lot of work. And when you sell it, it's like, okay, now we're starting over from
All over
square one.
again. Exactly.
Yeah.
I understand.
So my husband listened to the Art of the Slow Flip book. And then I also did. And then we're like, yeah, this seems like a really, really good filler. We can still, while we're young, we can still do the
Good.
flips. But we definitely want something added to our portfolio that's going to create passive income.
Perfect. Perfect. And so you're right now at a stage where you're going through the training because you just joined, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so that just focused on that, I just want to let you know, especially for people who are relatively new to real estate, is that in our community, it's a very big mix of people with a lot of experience, with intermediate experience, with very little experience, and with zero experience. So when you see comments, it can be confusing at times. because some of these people have been around for a long time, but they're still new to real estate, so they don't have the rich experience. I'm only telling you this because I want you to understand, when you see these posts, just understand that it's like 1,200 people, right? And so 1,200 people telling you what they think is not an advice. So the best person to give you advice is Scott. That's his program. He started it. When I started doing these calls, my goal was, I do not, 99% I would say for sure, is no contradiction to how Scott teaches. So everything that I talk about is basically the same ideas. I stick with what Scott teaches. All right. So I would stick with what is in the course, because people are also talking about the shiny object syndrome, right?
Mhm.
So if you go to the forum, somebody's talking about what's in the news, and then 20 people are commenting on that. Suddenly, that post is now on top, right? And then, or somebody talks about some. And so, what I'm trying to tell you, it distracts you from what you as a newbie should be doing. You should be just focusing on completing the training, and just focus on what the module is and what does it mean. So if you have a question on the module, just focus on that. If you start reading these posts and getting, there's nothing wrong with that. Get involved with it. It's just that the topics are so varied that you can
Yeah.
get buried in it. So just be careful there. That's
Okay.
all I mean. Okay, and
Sounds
then
good.
I know my calls are late in the evening, no matter where you are. So just try to join as much as you can, and we have recordings. You can watch them as well, and they'll be helpful for you. So welcome, and I hope to see you also in the future.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Anybody else who's new, first time on the call, would love to say hi to you. If you don't mind, turn on your camera and say hi. Okay, nobody else. All right. So how are you, Major?
Terrific. How about yourself?
Good, good, good. So everybody's excited
Uh,
about the summit. Are you excited about the summit?
oh yeah, definitely the summit. Yeah, and I just hired my first VA to help me
Oh,
get all my. I was telling you,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
so she starts tomorrow, and we'll be getting into real estate. I've been stagnant for a while, so hopefully I get in the game again. But
So just make sure
uh,
when you do your training for your VA, record them, however
mhm,
you can, either on Zoom or whatever you use. Because what might happen is, at some point, if you do have to let this VA go, or for whatever reason you have to find another VA, some of the training that you will do with her or with him, is it a lady or is it a guy? It's a lady.
a
Okay.
lady.
Yeah. So then you don't have to start all over again. You can ask your new
Hmm.
VA to actually watch those training, and you can kind of pick up on that. Trust me, it was so. I've went through so
Hello,
many.
Tiffin Pharmacy, can I help you?
So I went through so many VAs that it's very time
Yeah,
consuming, and it takes a lot of time. So if you do that, then you're in good shape.
I do have a question before you jump to Jolene.
Yeah.
I'm
Go ahead.
super curious why whoever has the five is going to lend them five properties, why they need to disperse their money so quick,
Very good
if you
question.
know.
So I actually introduced him during the call today earlier with Scott. His name is Don, and his story is, he recently, I'm not going to go into, because I don't know if he wants me to, but he has funds that came to him, and I think he could have done a lot of things with his money, right? But the fact that he decided to put money into, he trusts the community, he understands what he wants to do. He said, what's the best thing for me to do is just, lend the money to the community. So I thought that was just amazing, especially. So he waited, he went through the training with me, and he could have, he had people who were wanting to borrow from him even earlier. And he asked me, and I said, look, it's your choice, it's your money, you can do whatever you want. My job is to just help you and train you. And so now he feels confident, because now he has this certification, and now he said, look, I was planning on doing one or two, but now I'm thinking, look, I might as well just do five. I said, let's go for it. So I kind of introduced him today as well, and tomorrow morning he's going to post the loans, all five at the same time. Okay, cool. Hi, Jolene. Go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Hi. So I was wondering, I know before you said that the homes on the market come and go. And I looking in the northwest, the northern northwest, and
Mhm.
I'm wondering if if it's seasonal. Is it harder to find a filler in the winter? I mean, is it seasonal and it's kind of seasonal when you sell your home, but also it seems like it might have some effect on if it's in December, for
Yes, it does.
example, right?
It
Or
is.
November might be a little bit more challenging because people are getting ready for family get-togethers and the holidays. Have you noticed a trend in the seasons when the best time is to buy and fill?
Yeah, so what we know, even though our specific model that we focus on, it doesn't really follow that season, but during Christmas, everything slows down. So starting beginning in December, things will slow down. One of the other reason is in our business because we are owner financing them and we do require a down payment. So people have to come up with down payment. So all of these people, no matter who you are going to be spending money and saving money for Christmas. So that's not the time they're going to be thinking about putting a down payment.
Yeah.
Now, what I've heard, and you can actually go on school and read the post, the best time, believe it or not, is after New Year, after people file for taxes and they get a refund check.
Hmm.
So that's their best time, and we find that it's not first week, second week. It's either February or late January. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but it's around that time when people are suddenly filing and they're getting their refund checks, and now they're excited because maybe they've gone over the Christmas and everything is gone. That's all settled, and now they've come up with this money, 2, 3, 4 grand, whatever, right? And now they can go out and buy. So in our business, we are seeing that happening. The peak also is summer. Sometimes school may matter because if there are families with kids and they want to make a decision when to move, would be around school year, school year ending and school year starting. So it may have something to do with that. But generally, I found those are the two ones. Christmas gets really slow, and
Hmm.
just after January, early February is when they're getting their tax refunds. That's when you see a boost because if you post your property around that time, you have a good chance that it'll get filled.
Okay, good. I have one more question.
Sure.
So I signed up for Sean, I think it was McCloskey's
Uh-huh.
vision uh, workshop in October 26th, 27th, 28th. And then all of a sudden there's another workshop that sounds really good. I think it's Dylan, REI.
Hmm.
It's about getting organized with AI. Also in October, your professional opinion, I don't think I can do both of them. As a newbie, what do you think would be most profitable for me to attend?
Good question. I think they're both very different,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
They're completely
Yeah.
different. So one, I know REI book. Uh, I don't know much about it, but from what I know, it's a whole system. It's like the website, phone line, and everything. It's more on the marketing and on the business operation side. How would you run your business? How can you make it more efficient? Right? So that's very different. Whereas what the first one that you mentioned is about vision.
Hmm.
It's not just business, but your life. How do you plan your life? So it's kind of very deeply, kind of a very deep. You're gonna have a lot of deep discussion about yourself,
Hmm.
discovering yourself, and from what I hear, it's amazing. I'm just involved in so many things I can't do it, but if I was to choose for me, that would be really valuable for me where I am right now, right? Because I have my own systems already and all that. So for me, the operational side is not as important. So you have to decide at the stage you're in right now what is most crucial, what you need right now, and then you'll have to make a decision.
Yeah, I'm thinking Sean. I'm
Yeah.
thinking I'll go to
I think that
Sean's
everybody
workshop.
can benefit no matter where you are
Mhm.
because it's just so fundamental. I saw his presentation. I even saw it before he hurt himself, and it was just amazing. And I had was planning on going, so it's definitely going to be good. So, and you are coming. Did we talk about the summit? And you said you weren't coming, right? Or I
I'm
forgot.
going to the summit. I live in Virginia Beach.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
had
so
some conflict. Where was it? Oh, okay, there
Um,
was another lady then.
there was
Somebody.
another lady. Yeah.
Okay, because there was another lady also, and she also lives in the area, and she said she couldn't come. But you're coming, so that's good.
I'm gonna go to two so far. I got it on the
Okay.
calendar.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. Carmen, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Hello. I have another question regarding what Joe is it was it Jolene? Um, she just asked the best time to like the seasonality. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of what I understood was like best time to buy maybe the property would be in the winter months of like November, December, and then after the new year, that's when things start to pop for filling the property. Is that right?
That's right. Unfortunately, you know, buying a property, I mean, I am quite a bit experienced in all that. I can tell you it takes time to
Mm-hmm.
find properties, underwrite them, and
Mm-hmm.
then put them under contract.
Right.
That's itself takes a long time and planning. So
Mm-hmm.
to time it the way you're describing it, in my opinion, these are not retail ready homes. So they're not like you go on the MLS and you can just buy them. You do have to do your underwriting to find the homes that work with our model. So all I'm saying is unless you are buying on a consistent basis, you
Mm-hmm.
can time it. But most of us, even I, have, like this month, I bought four. And I'm telling you, it was so crazy. I've closed four within like a day or two apart. And it was not just crazy on my part, it was crazy on the title company part and, wire instructions and all that. So I'm just telling you, unless you're buying on a regular basis, you can pretty much time it when to buy. Otherwise, it takes the best word is to gear up to get ready to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's say you say, okay, I'm going to buy in, I don't know, let's say I'm going to buy in September or October, right? And so you're going to wait, but to put in your offer, get enough offers in there, get your offer accepted, do your underwriting, and get everything done. You may need to be working on multiple properties. And when our offer get accepted, you are not in control with that. That's another problem because you don't know. Some people are just ready to sell, but in some cases, there's this one home. I literally had to wait 2 months there was some complication because it didn't close 2 months before, it closed 2 months afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a little hard to time it.
Well, right. Like that is life. Such is life, right?
That's just life. Yeah. So
Yes.
yes, ideally we would like to have homes available. And also remember what's going to happen. Let's say you do everything perfect, you bought it at the right time, and you're trying to fill it at the right time. And as soon as you fill it, the person stays for a month and then you have to evict them or whatever. And now you have to repeat the process and that goes into the slow season.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is no matter what you do, things will come to you and then you're trying to time the market and it's not going to work.
There's no
So it's hard.
timing the market never works. But I'd be interested to talk to you more about. I think you just bought in Toledo, right? Like
Yes,
for,
I did.
but yeah. I have one in Toledo that has been, it's my first, and it's been quite challenging to say the least. A lot went wrong. Trying to right the ship. Still, I'm still in it for under 40,000. It's an 1,800 square foot home built in 1892. It could be a beautiful property. Once they ripped out all the carpets, there's some like great hardwood floors, but uh it was hoarder, and they left everything there. When we put everything out on the street, that's when the trash company went on strike, and so it was just a big mess. I mean, I'm not going to go into that, but finally getting it to a place where I think we might be able to sell it. So
Okay.
working with Paul, he's a great guy.
Yep.
Anyways, all that to say, I'm in the Toledo market, so I'm looking for stuff there. So obviously there's no timing it because I bought this back in June, and I
Hmm.
had it filled somewhat. I had an exclusivity agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Second pharmacy, date of birth?
And then that guy backed out. So, and so anyways,
Sorry, I don't understand that, but you had exclusive agreement
it
with.
was an exclusivity agreement. He wanted to pay $1,000 a month. I'm sorry, $1,000
Uh,
for 4 weeks, and then he would close on the property. And then during that time, he was going to clean everything out. I mean, when I say they left everything, they left like everything from like the last
mm.
100 years. It's like it's like
Yeah.
I
So
yeah, you couldn't even see the floors. But anyways, they're gone. It's cleaning it. We're getting it cleaned out, and I'm about ready to put it back on. It's being marketed, but it's just
so this what you're describing
Mhm.
is definitely frustrating for anyone,
Right.
right? The thing is, not many people can get through this phase. You
Right.
just have to overcome this and just
Oh,
realize that at some point somebody will need the home.
yeah.
Okay. And it's for someone, it'll be the right home. Now, you do have to be on top of it, which means Paul is great. I use him also. Is
hmm
that whatever you listed it at, and if
hmm
it's not moving and you're not getting enough, check with Paul, see what people are saying. Is that you have to be one to make the decision about when to lower the price in terms of down payment and monthly. I know you would want something, right? But if it's not working, don't
hmm
stay there.
hmm
Start making changes every 2 weeks or so. That's what I do. About 2 weeks, I start making changes. Drop the price, drop the down payment, and keep doing that till I start getting more showings, more people coming in, and start getting offers.
Right. Yeah. We're just trying to get the rest of the junk out of there, and um yeah, I think soon it'll be at this place where it'll be like, okay, this is desirable. But I even had copper stolen out, and yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not into every
that's
detail because it was a lot, but I can stomach it because I've already been in real estate and I've flipped
mm,
homes, and I know. I mean, I own a business, and I just know that
yeah.
life happens. But it's all going to work out. It always does,
It
right?
will, it will. That's the thing is the patience. You have to show patience in this business. And if you can, then you'll figure out that, oh, okay, I get it now. And you just
Right.
cannot be on, get really. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not, like I said, on top of things, which means every 2 weeks, reassess and
Mm-hmm.
make a decision. Every 2 weeks, reassess, don't just leave it as is and just say, okay,
Right.
whatever, something will happen. No,
Right.
it won't, because sometimes I'll give you a quick example. I had a property in I think in Cahokia. And I mean, it looks fine. The home, there's nothing major wrong with it, and it's on a nice cul-de-sac, and it just sits there. And I had it. It's a 3 bedroom, 1 bath, I believe, and it's I think 1,300, 1,400 square feet. So it's not very small. Nothing major wrong with it, and it just sat there. Nothing's happening. And then we kept dropping the price, and finally I found out somebody made a comment that some people just don't like that block for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe there are neighbors there or something like that. And see, unfortunately, the problem is you will not know that. Sometimes even your boots on the ground won't know that because they don't live there. So they
Right.
don't know that part, unless they really know the area really well. And so there'll always be something that, but then there was a right price. I had to drop it down to literally 700, which was my bare minimum,
Right.
and boom, it got picked up.
Oh, good.
But I had to start from 850 all the way down to 700 till
Mm-hmm.
I figure out, okay, well, even though there's no obvious problem with the home,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there is some perception that I don't understand, and then there is a price at where that perception didn't make a difference for an investor,
Right.
right? So
Yeah. Oh, so okay. So my first question we went through. Now my second question, if that's okay for me to ask too,
sure, yeah.
what are you and Major using VAs for?
Okay. So I'll go first real quickly. So I have a non-real estate business that I'm pretty much winding up now. So I own a music school for like 15 years.
Mhm.
And so I had trained her. So, customer service, email, follow-up, marketing, posting, and she's helping with me on the real estate side as well. So now I have had her for about 3 years now. So I had to train, I had to go to several VAs before I found her, trained her, and now she's just on autopilot and I just tell her what I need done, and she can do it. At some point, I did have to train her, which means I had to do recordings, or I would do my own recording, like a Loom recording, and then share it with her and let her know, okay, watch this before we have a discussion. And then I have to tell you, my VA she's a software engineer. So she has a full-time job and she does this on the side. So she's very smart. And
Mhm.
you can find a lot of smart people in Philippines with college degrees, and they speak very good English.
Right.
So it would also depend. Their motivation is very important. You really need to know what they're looking for, but that's what I use them for. So, Major, you wanna?
Well, I was really kind of asking more specific with your slow flip business, like what you have them doing, I guess is
So mine, she does. I have a coaching program, so she helps with that more. On
got
the slow flip side, I don't have her do anything else other than uploading videos and stuff like that. Nothing to do with underwriting and all that because that is something I do myself. So I do the underwriting myself. I look at so for example, if I have the pictures and videos and I don't have time, I can have her do that. So she has access to my website. So by the way, I have a portal, an investor portal, which I'm going to talk about on Saturday. So if you want to join the workshop, I'll go into detail. So that portal has when investors log in, they can view my deal flow. And so deal flow means all the, the properties that we
it.
have in our system, and then the underwriting, the pictures, the videos, and then the hard commit, the whole onboarding process. So she has access to the back end. So once I have all these videos and information, I just give it to her and she just uploads them.
Okay. But not so much with the slow flip business. This is with some.
Well, I mean, what can you have her do?
That's why I was.
There's
That's
nothing really for a VA to do. Now, some people are doing wholesale, right? Yes,
right.
maybe in that area, I don't do wholesale. That's not part of my thing. And so that is somewhere, yeah, you can use a VA to, scan through properties, make certain number of offers, give them a template, and they can do that for you. But I don't do that.
Okay. Maybe that's what Major is
Yeah,
using.
Major, you wanna?
Yeah, so I've got this whiteboard that stares at me every day that I've not got anything checked off. And so she's first gonna help me get that cleared up, especially the bookkeeping. But so a lot of I've talked to you in the past. So I do calls every day. I'm on Scott's team. And so I have people help me there also. But I'm gonna get started in wholesaling and plan on using her there with the social media, the marketing,
Okay.
and her English is perfect. So if I need her to make cold calls, she can make cold calls.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I've used VAs with my other business. I just wondering how you guys implement them in the slow flip freedom accelerator model and what you have them doing specifically. So that was great. Okay, thank you. I'll let somebody else go now.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. Any other question?
So
Anybody else?
and, until somebody pops their hand up, Amir, like, and I think when we're talking about like getting getting through the training, I like I mentioned, I'm on calls with people all the time. And I tell them like, don't just because you come in and you have money, don't just buy properties without going through the training, get systems in place. But Kurt, you remember Kurt
Oh yeah.
would be a good example. He came in
Tell
and bought
everyone. I don't think people know about it. Tell
yeah,
tell everyone how
he
many he bought and how
he
short.
bought
This guys, you gotta listen to this story. He's a great
yeah,
guy,
so
by the way.
he
I
came
I
in
love him.
and like, oh yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, he came in last January, before last, yeah. And
Mhm.
he bought 14 properties his first month. Um, and so it's like, boom, now you got to get them filled, right? So he didn't follow the system, buy a property and get it filled, and I say get their payment set up in the system and so forth. And so then later on, he didn't have him in like a payment processing system or anything. He had like I think a couple of them where they hadn't made payments in several months. And so he was telling the story too at the summit, this past summit. And so he's like getting on top of getting them evicted and getting the new people in and having it all in the system. So yeah, going through the steps is real important. Don't skip them, and make sure you know your market and you have a system to get people in there.
Right. And so that this idea of buying a whole bunch of properties just because you can, um, the idea is that, believe it or not, this model, while it makes a lot of sense, there are very specific things in it, even if you have properties in different areas. So, for example, if you buy properties in Illinois, Illinois is just like any state, it's a state. And within the state, there are counties that sometimes have very specific requirements. So when you get a property and you have a property and you come across a problem in a specific county in Illinois, you find out, oh, I didn't know this could happen. So think about it.
Mhm.
Suddenly, if you have bought 4 or 5 properties and in their different parts of state, or in different states, you're going to be struggling with figuring out all those things. And so if you buy slow, buy one, fill it, have it producing, and then move on to the next one, then it's manageable. It's a learning process. Anybody can do it. But when you put too many things, it's even with experience, I can tell you, I mean, I can buy very, very fast. I have quite a few private money lenders. I have a system. I can go really fast. And I'm telling you this month, and I didn't plan it, but I had 4 closing like within 3 days from one another, back to back. And it was crazy. I mean, the title company was sending me information because it was babysitting them, because, sometimes some of these people, I'm not even sure how they get their job, and they don't know what they're doing. So you have to babysit them, and then try to make sure you close on time, have everything lined up. So I'm all what Major is saying is just please make sure you go buy one, fill it, have it producing. That is the full cycle. So just buying is not okay. I've done one. That's not one actually. Buying one, have it filled, and by fill meaning to say, if somebody gets in there, it's very common. It does happen. They won't make their second payment. So you have to evict them. So you don't have a producing asset. So you need to buy a property, fill it, have it producing. So it's like a 2 month thing at least. And once that happens, go on to the next one. Make sense? Cool. Yes, Carmen, go ahead.
Awesome.
Sorry, lots of questions tonight. And that's why I'm not buying another one, because I'm trying to get to that next phase that you talk about, like producing and seeing the cash flow come in. That's what we're all after. Second question or comment. You said something about a Saturday workshop.
Yeah, so there is a workshop I'm doing this Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time. If you go to school and look for scaling for raising private money, there's a workshop that I'm doing where there is 3 segments. In the first segment, I'm actually going to talk about if you want to scale your business, slow flip business, and also scale private money lending activities, you can do that. I think Major just put it in the chat, that link, so you
Oh,
can go there, and it's free. And then Scott is also a guest. Towards the end, we have 3 segments. I'm also going to mention in the program, part of it is about my coaching program. So I have a coaching program about raising private capital. So my students are we're gonna talk about that. And then Scott, we're gonna interview him about mentorship. So that's going to be pretty cool. We came up with some very interesting questions to ask him, which I don't think many people have asked him. So we're doing that. So if you have time, you can register for it.
hopefully I can do that. So that's in school. I'll look for that, or I'll look for the link. And my last question, how do you find properties?
Me
Are you,
personally,
yes, you personally.
Yeah, I only buy online on via MLS, and I buy from wholesalers, but I only buy from wholesalers within our community. So I don't buy from wholesalers outside the community. And my logic is very simple. Uh, there are all kinds of wholesalers. If you have experience, right? So you know, if you
Mhm.
deal with wholesalers, they come in all shapes and sizes, right? In our community, at least there is a little bit more. Because it's a close community and because people know each other, there's a little bit more trust. But I
Mhm.
found that you have to be very careful because every new person who joins the community thinks they can wholesale, and they don't know even the fundamentals. So what I would do is just be careful, check out, how many wholesale they've done in the last year. I know some people who have just joined a year ago, they barely have any real estate experience, and then they do 20 or 30 wholesales, right? And then they claim that they're experienced. Well, but they did that 30 or 20 or whatever in 12 months.
Mhm.
That's not experience, that's just volume, right? You
Mhm.
have many years of experience, right? I
Mhm.
have 20 years of experience. So I've seen many different things in the real estate cycle. So I can handle and understand situation. So all I'm saying is just vet the wholesaler. Just ask them questions and get a feel for whether they know what they're talking about.
Okay. Not just trust that they're on thing.
Just because, yeah, just because. Here's a good example. You'll understand right away. Wholesalers who list a property and they list a price, right? I'm selling it for this much. Obviously you're a real estate investor. This is what Scott teaches. I
Mhm.
would offer something that I know is a good value for me, right? So first thing in real estate is you got to figure out the value of the property. So some of these wholesalers who are new, they just come up with a number for some reason, right? And when I offer them, they're like shocked and saying, "Whoa, why are you offering me this? This is so much." I said, "You know that your property is not even valued what you're asking for,
Mhm.
right?" And they're shocked because they think that, oh, I can just come up with any number. And then I ask them, can you show me any comps? And they have no idea, or they're showing me comps that don't make sense, right? So what I'm just trying to tell you is that if you're working with someone like that, remember, you're going to trust them in assigning a contract. And if they don't even understand the fundamentals, and if they never done or have done very few assignments, they don't even know how the assignment works. You'll be shocked to know that there have been people in our community who don't who are trying to assign contracts without actually having a property under contract.
Mm.
So, which is weird, right? But that's what I'm saying. So we have all sorts of people in the community. But if you, there are very good wholesalers in the community who have very good reputation, and I bought several from them. But I love buying from the MLS because buying from the MLS, I'm in control. And the best thing buying from the MLS is the disclosure statement.
Right.
Many times when I buy from the wholesalers, unfortunately, because they're buying from the end buyer who is an investor or whatever, and they don't know the condition and they're very reluctant to give me a disclosure statement. And
Mhm.
for me, that disclosure statement is very valuable, even though, people could,
What's your date of birth
can you keep your mic muted? I can't see somebody's mic is unmuted.
and the name?
Okay, yeah. They have it in stock.
Okay. All right. So what was I saying?
The wholesalers and
Yeah, so the disclosure statement when you're buying on the through the MLS, that's the good thing because right on top, if there is a issue with the roof, it's right there. So I can make a decision very quickly because they have to disclose if they know that the roof leaks, they have to let you know that oh the roof leaks. And so I have my minimum requirements that I look for that I would never buy a home with those things.
Mhm.
So roof has to be in no leaks and it has to be in reasonable condition, no foundation issues. I buy now with a furnace in place and a water heater and the breaker box. So these are the things that are non-negotiables for me. So if the disclosure statement obviously states something that either one of this is missing or there is a non-defect, then at least I have a good starting point. But when you're buying from a wholesaler, in most cases they will tell you, well, this is what we know. We don't know the seller, right? We send our boots on the ground, and in most cases, boots on the ground are I mean, how do you know they know more than you do? Nobody really knows. They don't have any credentials, right? So boots on the ground, literally, I've seen videos where they say, "Oh, there's a crack on the wall. I think this," and they're thinking this. They don't have any credentials to tell us what they think about it, right? Um, so I guess what I'm just saying is that there's a little, in my opinion, when I buy from the MLS, I have a little bit more confidence in the information flow that's coming in because remember also people are licensed. Uh, people are held accountable if something goes wrong. So and then I control the price point. I make the offer and I control the whole process.
So when you say you buy from the MLS and you're working with the agent directly, the listing agent basically, and they're working with the seller, which is the homeowner.
Uh-huh.
Homeowner could be someone who's lived there, but it could also be an investor or somebody who hasn't lived there. So even like in other states, I know here in Texas, an investor doesn't have to fill out a seller's disclosure because they're not, they don't live in the property.
They can, sure, yeah, that's you're
Okay.
correct. You're correct on that.
Okay.
And that does happen. And so at that point, then I have to make a decision. When I send my boots on the ground and
Right.
I do the visual inspection, then, then I have to really look at everything.
Okay.
And by the way, also, I don't just rely on and or working with, which I've done in past, directly with the listing agent.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I have my agent who are either they could be dual status, like dual agency, or
Mm-hmm.
they could be a local agent that I work with on a regular basis, and
Mm-hmm.
then I ask them to help me with this process. Now, in that case, since last year, August, you probably know this, the real estate commission structure has
Wow.
changed.
Right.
So you just have to have an understanding with your agent. Look, I can pay a flat fee for this. Now, when I have that agreement, then I take that into account when I place an offer,
Mm-hmm.
right? Otherwise, I'm going to be out another $1,500. So my offer is $1,500 less.
Okay.
So that has worked well. Of course, you have to work with a agent who is willing to work in this price point. See, that's the other thing. $30,000, what kind of commission are you looking for? But if you find a good agent, they'll bring you good properties. Now I have a couple of good agents and they bring me properties even before they're listed. They tell me that I'm about to list it, right? Because they know I will buy it. They know my buy box. They know the kind of homes I buy. And so if I tell them I'm in the market, I need a home right now. So I picked up two homes that were literally like an hour. He told me before, hey, this is the house. He told me showed me the picture, and he said I have to list it because that's what they pay me for. But I'm going to list it in an hour. So by the time he listed it, I had done my underwriting, I'd done my analysis, I knew what I was going to offer. So as soon as he did it, see the thing is that also matters. Your agent, your listing agent can tell you also, if the seller is ready to sell. So I think there was one home where the seller was in, I don't know what situation. He just was looking for, hey, if I get an offer close to whatever I'm looking for somewhere in listing price, I would just sell it. So he kind of told me indirectly. He couldn't tell me legally, what he's looking for, but he said, this guy is ready to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And so relationships, developing relationships with agents will help.
Okay. Well, that just spawned like 40 more questions, but one of them being, how do you find your agents? Do you just start calling? Two, when you talked about the buyer's agent commission, are you finding with this price point that the seller is not willing to pay the commission to the buyer's agent on this price point?
So here's what's happening. If you are ever interested in reading what happened in August
Yeah.
in terms of commissions, it's quite confusing. And I found out, and I'm not kidding, they left it vague
Yeah,
on
they do.
purpose, right? Okay.
I'm an agent in Texas.
Okay, so yeah, you know the better. And so the problem is this area, this thing about the buyer's representative, it's
Right.
either or. They
Right.
can be given the commission that they're looking for, or they may not.
Right.
So, so it really depends on how you want to work it. The couple of agents that I work with, they're very smart. What they do is before they come to me, they say, "Let me try to negotiate with them first." They
Mm-hmm.
go to them first, and if they can agree, get the seller to agree to pay their commission, they come to me and they say, "Look, you don't have to pay my commission." Then for me also, it's good for everyone. Think about it, because now I can place an offer slightly higher than I was going to offer otherwise, right? So it's good for the seller also in that sense. No matter how you look at it, they are paying for the commission either way. I pay it or they pay it, right? And they, I think, know that. They know that because I'm bringing it, I'm going to pay the commission from my pocket. I got to adjust my offer. So they also, if they're smart, they probably know this.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. And do you have you developed your relationship with real estate agents in these different markets that you're in and buying in, just through cold calling and hey, I like this property, or how? Yeah.
Well, so this is something I'm going to discuss tomorrow, not tomorrow, in the Saturday workshop is
Okay.
I like making teams. And when I make my team, I don't keep my team secret
Yeah.
because if I do that, you know what happens? It damages my team because my team needs to earn money also. They're independent people. They're not my employees. So
Right.
there are some people in our community who don't share their agents because they say, well, it's my agent. If I share, then, they're not. Well, I share them but when I share them, I refer people to them. So they know that I've referred them. So, well, guess what? They like me more because they know that I send more business to them. And I do this for every single title companies, attorneys. People ask me for referrals all the time. And I
Mm-hmm.
love to give referrals. So that's I think a little secret, if you want to say, is that if you want to get ahead in this, is that but I'm not saying refer just anyone. You find the right person, and it does take a while to go through a couple of agents before you find the right agent. For example, let me tell you, a real estate agent. She was just very great to work with, and she for I don't know, for just $1,000 commission, we
Mm-hmm.
sat on this property for 2 months. She went there several times. She returned my call. If I asked her to do a walkthrough, take pictures, she would do it without, and I thought, such a great person to work with. And I asked her to do a couple of other things, and she would do it. And she's available. I can call her. And I said, that's just such a perfect person. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be referring a lot of people to her. So that's how it works. There's really no way of doing it. The way is you just test out the relationship, and that's so. I don't make cold calls to find someone. And I discovered her during a showing. So I forgot now what she's not. So she was a agent within the listing brokers agency,
Okay.
right? So she was one of the junior, not a broker, but an agent, and
Right.
which tells you, you're hungry. You're hungry for, work, and you're hungry for making relationships. And so sometimes, so it's testing, just test.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Because agents can be flaky.
They can be. That's what I'm saying. Once you test them out, that's why I tested her over a period of time. And so, guess what she did for me? And I'm not kidding. I just mentioned, look, I just bought this home, and usually what I do is I have to hire someone to get put a lockbox. She said, I can do that for you. You can just pay me for the lockbox later. I didn't even ask her.
Hmm.
And I immediately paid her, and she was happy. I paid her a little more, for her time. But think about it. If you get boots on the ground to do that, that's $75 to $100.
Love it.
So the right person will do more for you, and then you have to do more for her. So I told her, and she actually told me she had a property, and I said, I'm not buying right now. I just bought four. I'm not buying right now. But I told her, like, hey, definitely, I'm going to be referring people to you.
Is she Toledo?
She is not in Toledo. She's in Peoria.
Oh,
So just DM me later, and if you're looking for something in Peoria, I'll give you a referral.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're
Sorry,
welcome.
dominate the time.
No, no, no,
But
absolutely. That's what
these
we are doing this call. The
are,
others are just listening.
no, these are
We
great.
everybody gets value from questions.
I think so. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Sure. You're welcome. Yes, Jolene, go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Carmen. Those were good questions. And I was just thinking, I have been looking at Zillow. I'm just
Uh-huh.
still looking, still looking my 100. I did the little
Mm-hmm.
Josh, the exporting them into,
Okay.
and that was really interesting. But I still like to look inside, that information to me didn't really tell me everything that I needed to know. I wanted to see the condition. I want it to be livable. And I called a couple of agents just on Zillow, and they called back. I haven't established any relationship yet, but I'm wondering how far out of the cities you go. So I was looking in Ohio as well, and I think there was a South Point and an Ironton in the corner. How far out of the metropolitan areas do you roam when you're looking to buy a home?
So I personally do not. I like to stay in larger metropolitan areas, but I know people in our community buy in smaller geographic areas. It's a personal preference thing. I just feel that, I like to stay. I mean, think about it. If you're in a big city, yes, you have more competition, but you have a greater chance of getting it filled because you're in a city with large population. I've seen some people, go in cities with like 200 people in the entire city. I think that's a little risky. You can find great homes there because, fewer people are buying there, right? So if you look at some of the posting on school from wholesalers, the homes look great, but what they're not paying attention to, it's somewhere out there town,
Rural,
you
yeah,
know,
rural area.
really.
Yeah.
So I would just especially for the beginner level, your first slow flip, I would stick with the major areas, the major metropolitan cities where, it's at least safe in that sense.
Okay. And one more question. Building permit. What requires a building permit? I mean, my husband likes to do stuff, and I think we'll incorporate his handiwork probably in the simple stuff.
Okay.
So does when do you need a building permit when you're fixing up a place?
So I don't fix up any
You don't
places
fix up
because
any.
that's what Scott teaches me. I also come from the traditional real estate side. I had properties, I had commercial apartments. I've done a whole bunch of things, and so it was a thing that I had to learn from Scott. Is that, and I forced myself not to clean the homes as
I
well.
know that's why.
Sometimes my boots on the ground. Some people I use, they insist. Oh, no, no, no! I'll go ahead and do it. I said, I'm not going to pay you because that's not what I want. He said, no, don't worry about it because I'm going to fill it. I just want it to be. I said, that's fine. You want to do it, you do it. I would show it as it. Because I found with my little experience in this 2.5 years is that it doesn't make much difference. Because the one you're selling to, it's a psychological thing if you think about it. If you're selling a property clean, painted, and everything, there's a different perception suddenly. Okay, well, this is a nice home. Must be somebody like a bank or some big company selling it. Well, I'm never going to go get this home. Whereas a home that looks like somebody just moved out, it needs repairs and all that, they know it's a deal because it is a deal.
Mhm.
And if what how Scott explains it is really well. If they say, well, there's a lot of trash in here, and then you say, oh yeah, I mean, my guy hasn't been there. He charges 2 grand just to clean it up. So I can do that for you, but then that'll add to the price. Well, guess what they're gonna say? They're gonna say, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So I found that it doesn't make any difference. Now, if there is like something very obvious, for example, let's say the home has frontage, there's grass and all that, and there's a big tree, and you have a fallen tree.
Mm.
Now that is obstruction, number one. It's also hazardous.
Mhm.
That is something, yes, I would get taken care of. That either have it cut and moved out, right? I generally have lawn care done. If it's vacant, I do get service to get so it looks clean when we are showing the home. But other than that, if something is very big, so let me tell you the couple of things that I've done. I bought a home, fantastic home. Like you look at it, it was fantastic from everywhere, except for some reason the front had some siding missing, and it wasn't much. It was just a couple of feet, right?
Mhm.
And it just looked weird. The home was fine and everything, and I just my insurance guy told me that that will be an issue, and I said, okay, now it makes sense.
Mhm.
because to cover for insurance, plus also aesthetically, it just, I would like it to be covered because, water will get in there and all that kind of stuff. And it only cost me a couple of $100. That I did. That kind of stuff I would do, but I would not do like a paint or something is peeling off, or I would not do that because it's not worth it. There's no there's no logic for it. It won't make a difference in terms of somebody will say, "Oh, I'll pay you 5,000 more because wow, you painted this." It won't make any difference because the people we are selling to.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Sure, sure, you're welcome. All right, guys. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. All right. So like I said, this Saturday I'm doing a workshop. It's a free workshop. It's in school, and I think Major put it in the chat as well. It's about scaling. If you bought few slow flips and you want to learn how to scale the business side and also raising private money side, that workshop is for that. And I would love for you to join. It is on a Saturday. I understand some of you may not be able to do it. Let me tell you, there's no recording of this. It's only a live event. And we have 60 people already signed up for it, and they're about 30, I think more than 60. It was 68 last time I checked. So we've got less than 30 spots left. So I'll see you all guys next week. Have a great week. Take care.